A very good morning to everyone, and I'm here again with yet another video on the chapter number 12, the endocrine system. Till now, in this chapter, we have discussed various things, just like we have discussed about the endocrine system, what are the endocrine system, what are hormones and their functions. We have also done how the hormonal control is different from the nervous control, and we have also discussed some general properties of the hormone and two important endocrine glands. Till now we have discussed, and these glands were adrenal gland and pancreas. Now in this video we are going to take two important endocrine glands, and these are thyroid and pituitary gland. So these are the four major glands which is given in the book, which you have to study deeper. So let's start our topic. The first gland is the thyroid gland, and this gland is basically present in the neck region. So when we talk about the location is in the neck region, and just below the larynx it is present, and the shape of this gland can be easily seen, and you can see that it is a butterfly shaped structure which is joined by the interconnecting lobe, and this is known as isthmus. Now the role of this thyroid gland is to secrete two important hormones, thyroxine and calcitonin. Now thyroxine we have to study deeper. However, the calcitonin is not given in the syllabus, but let me know what is the function of this calcitonin. It is involved in helping to regulate level of calcium and phosphate in the blood, and it also opposes the action of the parathyroid hormone. Parathyroid hormone is also not given in the syllabus. That means what is the overall function of this calcitonin? That it acts to reduce calcium level in the blood. So this is the function of calcitonin. We need not to remember this because it is not in the syllabus, but you must know that what is the function of this. Now thyroid, when we talk about the thyroid regulates the basal metabolism. Now what is the basal metabolism? Just means the basic metabolic activities which is taking place in our body, and some of these metabolic activities are breathing, heart rate, central and peripheral nervous system, body weight, muscle strength, menstrual cycle, body temperature, cholesterol levels. So all this basic metabolism is controlled by the thyroxine hormone, and as you know that it is a hormone, so it hypo and hypersecretion can cause problem, and that we have to see in this chapter. Now what happens if the thyroxine is not producing in a sufficient amount? That means under secretion, or we can say hypothyroidism. Now insufficient amount of thyroxine lead to three conditions, and these conditions are simple goiter, keratinism and myxedema. First we will talk about the simple goiter. Simple goiter can be easily visible in the neck region of a patient, and here you will see that a swelling in the neck. So if you see the diagram, the figure, so here just like a swelling is shown in the neck region, in the same way a swelling generally appears in this neck region. Now this type of disease is more prominent on the people living in a village areas. The reason for this is because there the soil is not having too much amount of iodine. See, this is iodine deficient disease, and there the soil it is not having too much amount of iodine. That means the plants which they are eating, the crops which they are eating, it is not having sufficient amount of iodine inside, and that's why they are having these deficiencies. And how to overcome this problem? We should always use iodized salts. That means the salt which is containing iodine in it. Now the second type of problem is the keratinism. Keratinism basically it affects the small children. Basically keratinism is a disease which is related to to the child, and this disease is basically caused by hypothyroidism, and it is also a iodine deficient disease, and it mostly affects the pregnant woman. And now when we talk about the keratinism, there are some symptoms which is generally seen in the body of the children, and some of the symptoms are the dwarfism and mental retardation. That means the child which is born, the height is not too much, it will be dwarf, and he is always mentally retarded. That means now due to the problem of the iodine deficiency in the body, he is not able to take any decision properly, not able to think properly, not able to memorize properly, and not able to make decision properly. So all these are the symptoms of keratinism. Now third one is the myxedema. Now myxedema is also a very important disease, and it mostly affects the adult person in which the thyroid gland is not working properly. That means it is also having some symptoms, and some of the symptoms are sluggish and swelling in the face and hands. That means a person, he seems to be sluggish. That means his body is not active, थोड़ा सुस्त जैसा रहता है. Now apart from this, you will also see there is swelling on the face and the hands region. Apart from this, various other symptoms are there which is seen in their body, just like low blood pressure, then low heartbeat, and sparse or brittle hair. Apart from this, cold intolerance, they cannot tolerate the cold conditions. Goiter, of course, the goiter is also a condition which is seen in their body. And low energy, as we said, sluggish, so low energy or lethargy we can say. Weight gain, suddenly the weight started increasing. Weakness, constipation, and depressed mood. So all these types of symptoms are generally seen in the patient who is having the problem of myxedema. Now what happens if the thyroxine hormone is increasing in the body? That means when we talk about hyperthyroidism, so it leads to a condition which is known as exothalamic goiter. Exothalamic means outward, ophthalmos means eyes, means related to eyes. Now here in this, a person can be seen with the following symptoms: a marked increase in the metabolical rate. That means the metabolical activity in the body start increasing, so it is taking at a faster rate. Now due to this, the heartbeat goes to a high range. Normal heartbeat in a person is basically 16 to 89 per minute, but it goes on increasing. Shortness of breath, तो सांसें कम होने लग जाती है, छोटी होने लग जाती है. Here eyes are protruded. So see, here it is related to the ophthalmos, that is eye. So eyes are protruded, आंखें थोड़ी बल्ज सी हो जाती है, and it is just like bigger in nature. And apart from this, a small goiter is found in the neck region. So this is the overall symptoms of the hyperthyroidism. So basically, if we say that what are the common symptoms related to the thyroid gland, whether it is deficiency or whether it is in higher concentration, that means hypo or hyper condition. So a person feel nervousness, and there is poor concentration and knowledge retention. Apart from this, increased heartbeat is there, that means metabolic activities increases. And then muscle ache problem, that a person feels severe pain in his body, in his muscles. Suddenly weight gain, and the person is having high level of cholesterol. Now to overcome this problem, we should always use iodized salt, that means the salt which is having sufficient amount of iodine in it, and in our diet we should include these things. So improper functioning of the thyroid, here in the table it is given, and here in the hyperthyroidism, that means whenever it is under secretion, it is causing the problem of simple goiter, keratinism, myxedema. And if it is hyperthyroidism, that is over secretion, it causing the problem exothalamic goiter. Now the second endocrine gland is the pituitary gland, and pituitary gland is basically a P-shaped gland which is present just below the hypothalamus. That means in the midbrain part, and it is known as the master gland. Very important to remember that it is known as the master gland. Because why it is master? Because it is releasing its secretion as well as it is controlling the secretion of other endocrine glands. So that it is known as a master gland. Now if you see the structure, it is a bilobed structure, and here the anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary is there, and both of them are releasing the hormones. And the weight of pituitary gland is just only the half gram, because it is very small, a P-shaped structure. Now the hormones which is secreted from the anterior pituitary. Now anterior pituitary, it is releasing one of the important hormone that is known as the growth hormone. So as the name suggests that it is related to the growth, and this is also known as somatotrophin. Somato means somatic cells, means the body cells, and trophic means stimulating. Now what happens if there is deficiency of the growth hormone? Obviously if there is deficiency of growth hormone, it will result into dwarfism. बौनापन जिसे बोलते हैं हम. So it results into dwarfism, in which the muscle development in the body, muscle development, the bone development, the bone development or increasing in the bone does not take place in the body of a child. Now what happens if it over-secreted? That means in this condition there is a problem which leads to gigantism. Gigantism, in this situation, a person is having long bones, and even the muscles it goes on increasing, and the person can reach up to 2.7 meters in height. So over secretion of this hormone can lead to problem into the muscles, and here basically the growth is mostly seen in the facial bones. Facial bones means the maxilla, the mandibles, they are generally getting increased. Apart from this, the bones present in the nose region is also getting increased, and the person is having thick lips. Now this condition is known as acromegaly. Very important to remember, and this question is asked in the previous exam also. So whenever there is increase in the bones in the jaw region, increase in the bones in the nose region, and thick lips are there due to this problem, that is gigantism, it is known as acromegaly. Now there are various other tropic hormones which is released from this. Tropic hormones means, since the pituitary is the master gland, it is releasing its own secretion as well as it is controlling the secretion of the other endocrine glands to produce the specific hormone. For example, the TSH, the thyroid stimulating hormone, so it activates the thyroid gland to secrete thyroxine. Apart from this, gonadotrophic hormone is there, that means gonad stimulating hormones, and they regulate the activity of testes and ovaries, because testes and ovaries are known as the gonads. And next one is the adrenocorticotropic hormone, that is ACTH. It regulates the activity of adrenal cortex. That means if you see here, these hormones, they are also stimulating other hormones, other glands. For example, it is stimulating thyroid gland, it is stimulating your testes and ovaries, and here it is stimulating the adrenal cortex. That means the adrenal gland. Now hormones which is produced from the posterior pituitary, and the hormone which is released from there is the secret from there is the antidiuretic hormone vasopressin. This we have also done in the previous chapter when we are studying the structure of the kidney and when we are doing the structure of the nephron. So here we have studied. Now what happens that here antidiuretic hormone, which is also called as vasopressin, actually vasopressin is an antidiuretic hormone which constricts blood vessels with rise in blood pressure. So it constricts the blood whenever the blood pressure goes on increasing. Now very important thing, it acts as a it acts on the kidney and increasing absorption of the water. So water retention get increased whenever the vasopressin hormone is released. Now what will happen if there is a deficiency of ADH? So whenever this vasopressin hormone is not producing a sufficient amount, at this condition it causes a problem which is known as diabetes insipidus. That means in this condition, since there is no reabsorption of the water from the kidney tubules, that means more amount of water is going outside from the body in the form of the urine. At this condition, the water in the body, it goes on decreases, due to which a person feel thirsty every time. So there is loss of water due to frequent urination. Now second hormone which is released from this part is the oxytocin. Oxytocin is basically a hormone related to the during the birth of a child. So during parturition means the act of giving birth, it is helpful in contraction and relaxation of the uterus so that a fetus, a child can come out from the uterus. Apart from this, it is also lead to release milk from the mammary glands. So it stimulates milk ejection from the body of the female. So these are the important hormones which is released from the posterior pituitary, and these are antidiuretic hormones, that is the vasopressin and oxytocin. So student, with all this we come to the end of the topic, and here we have seen two important glands, that one is the thyroid gland, other one is the pituitary gland, and this we are going to discuss in the class also. So please watch the video till end and come prepared in the class. Thank you and have a great day.